Well, hello. Hope you're all well. Right. I want to tell you about a little ghost story I overheard the other day. But you know, with me, that it has to have a twist. A link. And it's something, this link, I've been thinking about. And I'll tell you the link at the end of the story. So you've got two main characters. You've got a lad called Adam, and you've got a girl called Megan, and of course from Liverpool, from Livy, Toxteth Park Cemetery. So just visualise, you've got Toxteth Park Cemetery on one side, a fast straight road in the middle, a housing estate on the other side, and a bus stop. Now Adam was coming from a night out in Liverpool, but it was in the early hours of the morning and there was no taxis available, and he missed the last bus. So he's walking towards Toxteth, the cemetery, on one side. As he looked at the bus stage shelter on the other side, he saw the silhouette of a young lady. So his curiosity got the better of him, and he kind of pondered as if to say, should I go over, should I just walk on? But maybe with him being a very genuine guy, an occurring guy, Adam crossed over the road and went over to the bus stop. He started flirting with a little bit of a conversation, laughing, and everything was going well. Now, he actually said to her, where have you been tonight? What pubs have you been? What nightclub have you been? And she looked a bit puzzled. But as he's saying that, he noticed she was a bit ready for a night out, but a bit dated in a sense. So we just carried on, must have just a little bit of old-fashioned dress, maybe she's a bit old-fashioned, whatever, but something didn't seem right. Anyway, the next question he asked was, where'd you live? Where you heading? And she said Huyton, and his face lit up. He couldn't believe it, because he lived at Huyton as well. So we carried on talking, and he said, well, Megan, I can't really leave you here. Let's carry on chatting and see if we can get a taxi on the way, and if we can, we'll get a taxi together, and then with our goodbyes. So she said, fine. So as she started crossing over the road towards the gates of the cemetery, Adam's phone came into action. But the thing was, his actual ringtone was a 90s snap, Rhythm is a Dancer. Now, I'm not going to sing it, but that's what it was. And she stopped dead in the tracks, and he looked at her, and she looked puzzled. And what's wrong? She was kind of, he said, do you want my coat? So he gave her a coat. She put a coat on, and she just was so shocked by it, she just turned and ran. But didn't run down the road, she didn't run into the housing estate, she ran into the cemetery through the main gates. So Adam stood there thinking, what should I do? It's dark, it's pitch black, but as I said, probably with him being a very genuine, caring guy, he went through to the gates, got his phone out, and started using his actual camera to see where she was. So he's shouting, Megan, Megan! And at the corner of his eye, he saw the little bit of a picture of his jacket in one corner of his eye off the torch. So he thought, she's there. So he's walking up to the thing saying, Megan, what are you doing running off? And when he got to the actual jacket, it was on the back of a gravestone. But when he removed the jacket, there was a picture of Megan on the gravestone. And in the words were, here lies our beloved daughter, Megan. Passed away 21st of the 6th, 92. And he was just so shocked and stunned. He just ran all the way home. So weeks went past and it got the better of him. He thought, was he drunk? Was he imagining it? So he just decided, right, let's put an end to it. Let's get a flower, go over, see if the grave's there, and then actually put the flower on the grave and kind of close, you know, if it did happen, if it didn't happen. So that's what he did. So he headed towards the graveyard of Toxteth Cemetery. As he got there, he was stunned to see the same grave with the same markings and the same writing and picture on. And he thought, it must be true, it must have happened. So he put the flower down and he stood there, and the voice said, Did you know, Megan? A young lady shouted. And he turned round and there was another young lady there. And he was kind of a bit shocked by it, and he said, no, I'm just kind of, you know, wondering, you know, a girl so age, so young, you know, what would have happened? So she said, well, I'm Megan's sister, Alice. And he went, oh right, really? And he said, well, can you tell me how Megan passed away? And she said, yeah, sure. She said, what happened was, she was out in Liverpool on the dance floor. Alice said that Megan loved to dance, and she was on the dance floor and she had a cardiac arrest and died. And he was just so took back by it, and he was kind of linking things together and thinking, you know, the theme tune, 90s theme tune, she died in 92, aged 18, and it's going through his mind, and he just kind of said, right, okay, kind of shrugged his shoulders and just closed the actual story, really. But that's a story I overheard the other day on YouTube. Now, I can't remember who actually put it on, but if they do watch this, and they probably recognise that I've, you know, repeated the actual story, it was very well done. But what I'm trying to say is, at the beginning I said about the links, and I've been thinking about that when something appears from the paranormal, or before it goes to the paranormal, is it actually sensing, feeling that it's actually still a physical person, in a sense? And that's why when you get like a medium or somebody who wants to pass a spirit over to the light, that's why they do not want to go to the light, because they may know or think they know that if they go to the light, they may not still be physical in a sense or feel that way to, because when we imagine, the best way to put it is, we so-called got Bigfoot, which is supposed to be paranormal, more people are aiming for, but we've also got Bigfoot here. So if whatever comes back in our reality, is it actually coming back to how in a manner of being physical to leave us that there. It's just something I've been thinking about, you know, and when I heard this story I thought, is that what, you know, what it was trying to, is that's what's happened in this story, where Megan felt physical, and like I said, Adam was talking to her, and he was getting small talk through her. So I just thought I'd tell you this little bit of a story I heard. Now I do not know if it's true, but like I say, there's nothing to say it's not true. But what fascinates me, it's got a physical element to it. That's all I wanted to say, really. And also, I hope you've enjoyed my channel. Thanks for tuning in to my channel, and please subscribe. I think the last person who subscribed on my channel was Matthew Cook. So thanks, Matthew. And on that note, I'll leave you to it. Thanks for watching. Please comment below, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye for now. Rhythm is a dancer.